Hey, as requested, I'm gonna be reviewing what Tom Holland eats in a day.
So right now I am actively trying to put on as much weight as
Lovely British Spider-Man in it.
possible. So for me, a cheat meal is actually a really good thing. So I have cheat meals all the time, to the point where I can't even call them cheat meals. They're just really meals. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Tom Holland, and today I will be
He may be eating garbage right now, but his ancestors ate at least somewhat good food, seeing as the guy is good looking.
talking about my diet and how it informs my training. My philosophy behind my diet is that my diet is far more important than what I do in the gym. I would say for me,
Wait, what did it say there? I gotta go back. Vegetables are strong sources of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What? Fiber, yeah, of course, which is what you don't want. But what vitamins and what minerals? Yeah, some minerals, which you will not really get out of them because of the fiber. It's so stupid.
more important than what I do in the gym. I would say for me to see results, it's 80% diet and 20% fitness. I try to be strict and healthy. I travel a lot, so I find it really difficult to get into a routine of cooking for myself. But yeah, so dieting, I wouldn't call it dieting, but eating healthy is a big part of me staying in shape. I'm always trying to have a healthy amount of vegetables. And when I say healthy,
The healthy amount of vegetables is 0 vegetables. None of the stuff even exists in nature. Humans never used to eat any of this. They used to eat fruits, but not green leaves. There's literally no record of humans actually walking past bushes or just some green plants and then picking and eating them. That's just not what we naturally do. It just goes against our senses.
I just mean a lot. My girlfriend's a vegetarian, which is really helpful because it means that
And that's probably why you guys don't have children. Is she taller than him? No, right? Maybe she has high heels on. Well, she obviously likes him because of his face. That's clear as day. That's why he got the role for Spider-Man. I guess that everybody understands that. It's not because of his height.
more often than not, I'll be having a veggie meal. But yeah,
Yeah, that's bad because in the long run it can make you infertile. Also, if a girl eats like that, she will not have much of a intimacy drive. It's because she's not actually fertile the way she should naturally be. If men and women eat a lot of animal fat, ideally if you eat some organs, even consume blood the way people in nature do, then you will be very intimacy driven and you will be very fertile and it will be very easy to reproduce. It's not normal that these guys have not reproduced.
I'm mindful about what I eat, especially this past year. My brother and I, we live together and work together.
The brothers. Oh, he has twin brothers? They look kind of similar. They all have the same kind of developed face. They probably got very similar food as children or were breastfed for just as long or whatever the reason. But then in the end, of course, a combination of different genes makes you have a different face. And Tom is for sure better looking, although the guy on the left is also pretty good looking actually. Yeah, but still different. Yeah. But yeah, nutritionally, it's interesting that you can see that as far as the development goes, they all got the same food, realistically. It's interesting, yeah.
Together, and we famously have had the worst diets ever, especially when we're working. So we've both taken an active decision to really try.
Yeah, when you eat potatoes covered in seed oils, you can of course call it a bad diet. But right now, what they eat is pretty irrelevant. As long as they were breastfed long enough, as long as the mother, of course, also ate good while they were pregnant, which she clearly did, because their faces are pretty wide. Not as wide as the faces of people in nature, but compared to the faces of people today, it's pretty well developed. And of course, afterwards, as a child also, because you have no control really of what you're eating. As long as they were fed good food then, really what you eat afterwards, after you're 10 years old. Puberty is also super important, but After puberty anyway, it's not gonna matter. You're just gonna look the way you look for the most part, but even before puberty, until the age of 10, you will mostly already develop. If they eat French fries covered in seed oils now, it will just make them look unhealthy, which you won't be able to see on actors because they're full of makeup. But the face is gonna stay the same.
I make a difference in our diet or a calorific intake. Typically for breakfast, I will have a bowl of porridge with a bunch of...
This makes no sense to me. Not because he's some celebrity or whatever, it's specifically because he's a millionaire. Why would you be eating oats, porridge, that's what it is, which people in Britain used to eat when they were starving? It was the worst case scenario food. They were starving, they hated it, which is why they tried to make it somehow into food. These seeds, they cooked them, added some kind of milk or whatever they had left over still, sugar or whatever, and then they ate them just to get some kind of carbohydrates out of them. You now, as a millionaire, eat absolute slave food. That's what makes really no sense. Even if you have no time to prepare food, you could just get your assistant or whoever, just delivery, and they could get you sashimi, for example, just raw fish, steak tartare. Why would a millionaire not be eating only high quality grass-fed beef, even if it's cooked, wild-caught fish? Why would you eat porridge as a millionaire? And that's what makes zero sense to me. That just shows you that no matter how much money you get, you will still be brainwashed. You just can't snap out of it.
Fruit and nuts accompanied
Nuts, also seeds.
with a shake. The reason I do that is I like to get up early and I like to get the day started. And if I have to cook something, I feel like it really slows down the day. The berries give me a bunch of fiber. The nuts give me the fats that I need.
The nuts have only the seed oils. There's only oils. No actual fats, no animal fats. Man, this is so bad. You can really be thankful that your parents didn't mess up, because otherwise you would not be an actor right now. Imagine if his parents, and if he would have eaten this when he was a baby child, he would have super crooked teeth, a super narrow face, just everything would be wrong. Yeah, crazy, man. Imagine if he will have children with that Zendaya or whatever her name is, and she will be vegetarian. She probably won't be able to get pregnant, but they can do IVF or whatever. They have a lot of money. They probably will end up doing that if they will stay together. And then he will be eating nuts and porridge. Their children will be super underdeveloped, even shorter than him, a super narrow face, super crooked teeth. Man, so horrible. You have pretty alright genes right now, the way you look like, even if you're not that tall. And you're just gonna mess them up now.
And that, I feel like, sets me up for a great day. The carbs from the oats give me that nice long-lasting energy.
Yeah, and that's all that you get. Carbs and long-lasting energy you could get from animal fat. And from the animal fat you would be getting fat-soluble vitamins. You can't get anything, well, any vitamins anyway, out of this garbage. So you're just eating sugar, essentially. That's what carbohydrates are.
So that'll be that. Lunch, typically, if I am not bulking, I'll skip lunch. I very, very rarely will eat lunch. And then for dinner, I'm so lucky. My brother Sam is a really talented chef. So he's been building all of these amazing recipes. So really, every night, I'm going over to my brother Sam's house and eating whatever it is that he's been cooking, which can range from sticky bao buns to a traditional roast dinner to, you know, a chicken.
Okay, yeah. They probably grew up eating a lot of meat, and at least he still eats that. You should just really change your breakfast. At least eat a lot of eggs. A porridge is not food, man.
Veronique. So it's very, very fun stuff. So that's what I've been doing recently. I'm very lucky that my default setting of my body is that if I don't train and eat, I lose weight. I have to really consciously think about maintaining size. So for me, a cheat meal is actually a really good thing. And yeah, I'm a sucker for an In-N-Out burger. I go for a double-double with raw onions. I don't like their fries. I don't understand why their fries taste like cardboard. So I'll go for 2 double doubles with raw onions. That's my order, yeah. I take
Burgers are not even that bad as long as the meat is not cooked in seed oils, which it isn't in In-N-Out as far as I know. And if you leave out the bread. If you simply eat the burgers with cheese and whatever, obviously it's super overcooked, but still, if you would need food quickly and you eat cooked food anyway, cooked meat, that's really not even the worst option on earth. I know that fast food is always called super unhealthy, which it is, but when you compare that to what people eat today, these kale smoothies, rice, porridge, then in comparison to his breakfast, an In-N-Out burger is 1,000,000 times better. And if he would leave out the buns, it would actually be a halfway decent meal.
supplements depending on my fitness goals. So right now I'm on a pretty steady flow of creatine and protein. I also take a protein
You don't need to take creatine. If you eat raw meat, you naturally get it.
shake in the morning, which is filled with all the minerals and vitamins that you need to be living a healthy life.
No, man, the vitamins and the minerals, they're found in fucking meat, mate. Seriously. That's what people don't get nowadays. They think minerals, vitamins, oh yeah, fruits, vegetables, something green. No, if you want minerals and vitamins, then you need to eat ideally organs and drink blood. Man, this guy could easily, he's a millionaire, have fresh blood every day. It's not even that expensive. Even somebody who has some money, is somewhat wealthy, can easily afford having blood every day. All that you need to do is go to a farm, give them a bunch of cash, and they will deliver it to you whenever they slaughter an animal. Go to free farms, simply schedule it, 1 farm each day or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or 7 farms, and they just bring it to you. Yeah, if you pay them enough, they will do it. He could do that. But instead, I think that his girlfriend just brainwashed him.
Style. Yeah, that's kind of about it right now. I did a film called Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg, and something that came out of that movie is we came to work together. The movie shut down because of COVID, and in that interim period where we had 4 months off, I noticed how much bigger Mark was than myself. So in that 4 months, I just pedaled to the metal, went as crazy as I could in the gym. And
who cares? You're younger. You're for sure right now better looking anyway, because you're younger, automatically. Who cares if he has more muscles than you? You're more attractive. You're more desirable. That's all that matters. It wouldn't matter if you don't work out whatsoever. You would still always be more desirable than Mark Wahlberg.
in the kitchen and got to the heaviest I've ever been, which isn't that heavy, to be honest. Like, by my standards, it is. And it was really cool. I felt really strong. I felt like I had a lot of power within me.
At least the guy doesn't use steroids, as far as I know. It doesn't look like it. Mark Wahlberg did, and I think that some other guys also in the fitness industry anyway, but in Hollywood specifically, use them. The Rock also used them, obviously. He doesn't hide it. Yeah.
So that was a drastic change. Spider-Man 3, Jack, who's a mate of mine, and Duffy, who is our trainer, we just really got into CrossFit. I'd never done it before. And I just really loved the kind of competitive edge of it, setting goals, trying to beat your personal best. I really enjoyed that, and we got very fit for that job.
Yeah, but working out only reduces your lifespan and makes you look older. You should preserve your face. You shouldn't create that many wrinkles. But I know that when you're in this business, you need to appeal to all of these people and do exactly what they say, which is why when they say that you need to look a certain way for a role, you will just end up doing it because you don't want to have a bad reputation. You just want to please these people. But he could still easily get tons of roles without all the working out, and he would look a lot younger and more attractive for longer, which is good for his job. And besides that, you only focus on the working out and want to reach these stupid goals, which are worthless, because you don't have a family. If you would have a lot of children already, which you should at your age, then you would be focused on them in the first place. You wouldn't think about going to a gym or achieving some CrossFit goals.
So that was a big lifestyle change as well. The hardest thing I've done in terms of dieting for a role is somewhat a contradiction to what I've been saying throughout this interview, but I cut as much weight as I could for a film called Cherry. Incredibly proud of that movie. It's one of my favorite and best experiences I've ever had as an actor. I was trying to keep below 500 calories a day. I was working out like a crazy person. I was dropping weight really, really quickly. I then did it again for a TV show called The Crowded Room, and I've kind of vowed to myself now that I'll never do that again, just because it's not worth it, and it can actually promote quite considerable health concerns.
That's bad, but working out and gaining a lot of weight is also bad. You should just stay at your natural weight. Both are stressful for the body. You lose the extra mass eventually anyway. The same way if you go under your natural weight, then you regain the weight anyway.
Down the line, so I wouldn't do that again. There's a whole bunch of different things, really. The thing I've been cooking the most, because it's a really easy thing to like batch cook, and it's also really good for me with what I'm trying to do right now, is I do a chili but with lentils rather than a mince. It's very flavorful.
100% his girlfriend brainwashed him. Absolutely, no doubt.
It's really tasty, it's healthy, and it's ultimately full of all the things that I need.
And this is so bad, man. If they ever have children, they're gonna be so malnourished. It's just horrible.
To put some weight on, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a date night. It was a regular night in the household, but it was a nice chili. We sat down. I'm currently watching Grey's Anatomy, and we watched about 7 episodes of Grey's Anatomy and ate chili, and yeah, I was probably farting a lot because it's very gassy.
Yeah, because of the fiber. That's one reason, of course, also the poisons. But yeah, you said before that the fiber is good for you, at least you implied it.
Favorite carb is potatoes. I absolutely love potatoes. I love a potato in any form it comes, even raw. I love them. I absolutely love
raw potatoes. I once ate an undercooked potato, and I was sick for 2 days at least, or 3. It was one of the worst food poisonings I ever had. How does he eat them raw?
It's the Irish in me. My favorite protein would either be cod or chicken. The reason why I like cod is because to cook it's really easy. I just bake it in a bit of tinfoil with chilies, lemon, garlic.
You should go to a Japanese restaurant and eat some sashimi. Try all kinds of raw fish. You will probably eat that a lot more often than
garlic in the oven, and then that's kind of it. You don't have to cut it up, you don't have to season it really, it tastes really good. And then chicken, you know, in a whole plethora of different ways. Stir fries, roasts.
Lovely video by Tommy Boy in it. It's really interesting to look at these people who even become actors because of their face, and they don't realize how their face developed, why they look the way they look. And then they start eating lentils instead of minced meat, vegetables and whatnot, just because firstly the media taught them that this is healthy their whole life. It didn't used to be like that even some decades ago, which is why his parents obviously ate differently. And even he has a child for sure get different food. And then you also have vegetarian girlfriends who influence you and say, nah, don't add meat because I also want to eat with you. Come on, just add these lentils. Instead, it's just like meat. And there's a lot of minerals and vitamins, which is obviously nonsense, but that's just what people believe nowadays in general, that seeds and vegetables have all of the nutrients, which is complete garbage and nonsense. It's really hard, of course, to snap out of this because that's what you're surrounded by. That's the only information you can find anywhere. I don't blame anybody for falling for that. I grew up the same way. I guess that if you would have asked me where to get all the vitamins from, I would have said fruits, probably, I guess. I don't know. I think that's what I always saw in cartoons and movies. That's just what everybody thinks. You eat fruits for vitamins, yeah. Anyway, my point is simply that if he would have children, they would not look the same way he looks like right now at all. And as I said, they would also be shorter, just because you can only get that much out of your genes which were passed down from your ancestors. If he would feed his children, if he would have a son specifically, raw milk, liver, then the son would be taller. He would at least have a better developed face. Whether he would be better looking than him, who knows? It depends on who the mother is. Also, of course. I wish the guy all the best, but it's just interesting to see what happens today. You see this with a lot of actors and good-looking people today, that their children turn out oftentimes noticeably worse than they themselves, just because of the horrible diets today. The diets have just changed so drastically in the last 20 years. Ever since vegetarianism and then veganism became popular, it's just all completely going downhill, and you're just looking at these last people left on Earth who still have somewhat well-developed faces. As I said, compared to most people today, it's still noticeably better, but the next generations, if this is what he eats, will be a lot worse. Thanks for watching.